Hello everybody, my name is Lucas, and me and my orange shorts, we are going to show you how to dial in a high gain tone on the Revv 100R Mark III. And guys, this is your first time here, or if you've been here before, you really should subscribe. I got lots of cool stuff going on here. I do gear reviews, I do mixing tutorials, and I also do giveaways from time to time, and I don't want you to miss any of that cool stuff, so make sure you are subscribed. Alright, enough of my self-advertising. Let's get into some high gain tones. I'm going to play a little bit for you. I'm using my Black Cat headless with some Fishman Tostons in it, and I'm using some 52 to 10 elixir strings, and we're going to be in drop C. And I also have my 7 string I'm going to be using, and that is also a Black Cat with Toast and Fishmans, and that is going to be in drop A flat. So enough talking, let's jam a little bit, and I'll talk a little bit about it after. Now, the tone you just heard is a very generic bass tone because we're going to build off of this 6-string wise. So, on the amp itself, I have my treble is a little past 9, about 10 o'clock or so. My mids are about at 1. My bass is about at 8 o'clock-ish, kind of low. Gain is right at 9. I find the sweet spot for gain with my setup, that is very key with my setup, is around 9 o'clock. Moving up a little bit from there and down from there, you can get some desired results. If you push past there, it gets kind of insane. I have the bright switch on with the 6 string here. I have the bright switch on. That is kind of like my bass setup. I like to mix and match and do different things to get some different tones from there. So as you heard, it's an alright tone, but it could be definitely be better. So what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be kicking on the Ibanez TS9. So from here on out, the drive is going to be on unless I note otherwise, and this is what it sounds like. Same configuration, just with the drive. Alright, now I'm going to do drive on, drive off. Turning it off. I love it with the TS9 on it. You get that nice little sizzle in there, and you scoop out a little bit of those nasty frequencies. So, this is okay, but it needs a little bit more oomph. I'm going to put a little bit more bass in. Approaching 9 o'clock, it might actually be too much. And I'm going to put the gain up a little bit to about 11 o'clock. As you can hear, things are getting a little bit more interesting, and we got a little bit more balls going on here. By the way, I do have the gate on, so that's why it's nice and silent whenever we're not playing. Now we're getting somewhere. Now it sounds kind of badass. You can actually record with this right now. By the way, the IRs that we are using, I'm using some GGD Cali cabs, right? They're based off of the Mesa Oversized 412 with some of the best V30s ever made from that golden era of late 90s and the 2000s. The V30s in there. That is what I am using. That's what we're going to be using for the entire video today. So now this sounds pretty cool. So now we're going to jump into the aggression. So whenever you get into the aggressions, you have a blue aggression, which it boosts the mids. It kind of boosts like the upper mids, the mid mids to upper mids, kind of in that range. And you have the red aggression. The red aggression kind of boosts up the bass a little bit and gives you a little bit more high end. I'm going to show you exactly what those sound like. So I'm going to play a little bit, keep it like this. I'm going to kick on the blue. I like using the blue for lead type stuff. By the way, the drive is still on. So I'm going to play a little bit. I'm going to kick on the blue so that way you can kind of hear the difference with it. This is going to be blue aggression. like I said, when you kick the blue on, you get lots of chewy mids that are in there. I really like it primarily for leads. It's kind of like what I like to do. So that way it kind of gives you a little bit different voice. So when I still have the gain cranked up a little bit, I'm going to crank it down a little bit, because now we're going to move on to the red aggression. So I'm going to start off back in bass 0 tone with no aggression, and then I'm going to kick on the red, and you're going to see what I mean. This is when we kind of, the 100R kind of gets into that Mesa Recto-ish type of tone. You see exactly what I mean. Now, this is one of my favorite tones from the 100R using 6 strings. I love the red aggression. I love it with a drive. It's nice, it's big, it's fat, it's in your face. The thing I'm kind of noticing now is that you get kind of some mids that are coming up in here. So it's not a bad thing, though. The mids are a good thing, but it's kind of those like palm muting mids is kind of what I like to call them. It's kind of like in that like 250 to 300 to 400 range. We have a buildup of that now. Now, if I was recording, I would probably just record it just like this, and then those frequencies I didn't like, I would just take them out with my EQ. Which guys, it's okay to EQ your stuff when you put it in a mix. There's so much. I'm gonna mini rant here. People are like, oh no post processing. You know, it's the raw tone. Yeah, that raw tone is good and it's cool, but some of the best guitar tones of all time that everyone chases, most of the time, there's a mix on there, okay? You have to get out those annoying, nasty frequencies. So I'm going to put on the cut knob, right? So I'm going to play a little bit, then I'm going to kick it on, and you're going to hear exactly what I'm talking about. It takes out those annoying frequencies that kind of muddy things up. See what I mean? The cut is great. I love having the cut on here. I would use a cut probably live is where I would use it. Now I'm recording, like I said, just leave it in there. You can take care of it with the EQ. Because whenever you're recording, it's better to have too much than not enough. Especially when recording, because it's very easy to kind of, you know, notch out like 1 or 2 dBs. You can notch it out, and that's absolutely fine. So for me personally, this is probably like, you know, the good tone that I like specifically. It may sound different to you, depending on your guitars, you may have to tweak it a little bit. So we've been using the TS9. I want to show you what it sounds like if we use a different drive pedal, because the amp responds a little bit different in different drive pedals. I'm going to throw on the Digitech Bad Monkey. I'm going to show you all the settings. So I'm going to show you on some B-roll. I'll like video and then show it to you, so that way you don't really, you know, I know you'll be like, what settings are. I'll show them to you. So let me switch drives real quick, and then we'll start with it off, then I'll turn it on. Drive has been switched. We are now using the Digitech Bad Monkey, which is kind of a secret weapon when it comes to overdrives, because it's no one really talks about it a lot, but it's actually really good. So I'm going to start with it off. Like I said, everything's still the same. Red aggression's on, cut, bright, everything's still. I'm gonna start with it off, turn it on, and let you see what that sounds like. I really like the Bad Monkey because, as you can hear, it tightens things up, gives you a tiny little boost in the mids, and the high end isn't as sizzly as it is on the TS9. Now, I have the high all the way up on the Bad Monkey. You can adjust the low and the high. You kind of get a choice on here, which is nice. And it's kind of more mid-focused, and I really like this pedal. It's a good alternative, and I'll use this because I kind of want to show you how the amp responds to different pedals. All right, we are absolutely done with 6 strings. We are going to be moving on to some 7-string action, and we're also going to be changing drives too. All right, now I've got my Black Cat Ferrule. Once again, this is drop A flat, and I do have Toast and Fishman's on this one too. So I'm going to play a little bit for you, but not very long because you're going to see why. Amp-wise, the bass is all the way down. The gain is right around 9 o'clock, and no bright or cut is on. Alright, as you can see, this does not sound good at all. It is dirty and it's floppy. It sounds good on everything but the 7th string. When you throw in a 7th string in there, it throws things for a loop. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn the cut on, for sure. I'm definitely going to turn the cut on. And I'm going to turn on my Dirty Tree drive pedal. This thing is absolutely magic. So you remember what it sounded like before, right? It sounded like basically complete ass. But now it's going to sound a lot different. Now, you see we got some more mids in there. It's a lot more kind of chewy sounding. You know, we got that. Kind of going for that prototypical Gent sound. That's kind of the sound that I gravitate towards, so that's probably what's going to end up happening here. So we're going to play with a few things. Like I said, I have the bass all the way down and I have the cut on. I'm going to barely put the bass up. Barely put it up. Because you have got to be so careful, because if you put too much bass, it's going to sound way too much bloated. And I'm going to put the gain up a little bit. And this is before we're going to check out the aggression. So this is a little bit different settings. I don't like it with the gain that high. It kind of gets things kind of out of control. And I'm actually going to turn the brightness down. It's almost at 9 o'clock. See, that's already better. You have a little bit more attack. I find too much gain gets in the way. The attack is good. Now we're going to move on to the aggression, because this is kind of like a good bass tone. So if I would turn the Dirty Trees off, but the Dirty Trees is like magic, and it really makes everything come alive on a 7. So I'm going to leave it on. And we're going to move to the blue aggression. Like I said, this one has lots of memory. Remember on the 6 has lots of mid, so I'm going to play a little bit and turn on the blue. That split coil position is so fun. You can get a lot of spanky tones out of that. I like the blue. The blue, it boosts your mids more, so it gives you kind of more of that genty sound. I can probably actually watch. Gain is all the way down. I have absolutely no gain. As you can hear, with no gain, it sounds a little bit thin. You put a little bit of gain and it sounds good. So point and listen here, go easy on the gain. You really don't need a lot. All right, so we have explored the blue. Now we're going to explore the red with the 7-string. Same as before. Play a little bit, then turn it on. As you can hear, when I pushed the gain up, things kind of got a little hairy, and I didn't really like it, so I pushed it down a little bit. I really love the red. I really love the red aggression with 7 strings because it makes things nice and fat, and you can kind of purr a lot easier. What I mean by purr, I mean like... So you see, without leading aggressions, it's really, really dry. You can get that kind of like tight tone. As you can hear, whenever you put on those aggressions, you kind of have to tweak a little bit because it brings different frequencies up and down. So, you got to adjust the gain a little bit. You may got to adjust the treble, your bass, you have to tweak a little bit. So, tweak to get that perfect tone. And I love dialing in tones on the 100R, especially on the red channel. It's so easy. It sounds so great. You pair it with some good IRs, you're good to go. You throw on a drive pedal, you can take it to the next level. Guys, I really hope this helped some of you on how to dial in the tone on the 100R. I really enjoyed doing this video. If you thought this video was cool, leave me a thumbs up. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching this video with me. I greatly appreciate it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.